Can you mention a Pierce Brosnan movie without bringing up James Bond? The answer? No, I just did it. Today, Dante's Peak. This little gem from the 90s came at a time when special effects people realized with CGI they could do anything. They were no longer bound by uh, uh, models and practical effects. They could literally make anything. And there was this period of time where the disaster movie became fashionable again. And we got, obviously, Independence Day kind of kicked it off, but we got Twister and Deep Impact and movies like that, where it was just basically special effects people going crazy, testing computers, seeing what they could actually achieve. Weirdly enough, Dante's Peak was one of two volcano movies that came out in the same year. There was also Volcano, starring Tommy Lee Jones, a movie that I think I saw, but I honestly don't remember it, and most people consider it the lesser of the two. Dante's Peak is a fun little adventure movie. Um, it's it's Pierce Brosnan who he's in his James Bond prime. He's he's riding high off of landing that role. And Linda Hamilton in one of the few other roles outside of the Terminator that really I've ever seen. This is a great little disaster movie. It's got the 90s characters, the scientists who are all kind of smart alecks and joking off of each other and everything, but it manages to keep a level of suspense going, building up to the eruption of the volcano that a lot of those kind of movies just couldn't maintain. Honestly, I don't remember Twister that well. It's just one of those movies that didn't stick with me, but Dante's Peak did. The story is basically there's a little town called Dante's Peak, and you've got this dormant, what they think to be a dormant volcano that sort of overlooks it. And these scientists, they're like, nope, nope, there's something going on here. Volcano might erupt. And they send Pierce Brosnan to check it out. He's sort of a wounded by a past failure when it came to predicting a volcanic eruption. And nobody really wants him to be there. The town is sort of experiencing this little boom. They've got tourists showing up. It's a lot like Jaws. The mayor in Jaws doesn't want no talk about the shark. This is tourist season. We got to get people in and out. Linda Hamilton is the mayor in this one. She is the more reasonable of the people, the city leaders, because she's like, no, we've got to let him do his job. She really wants him to be wrong, and she catches a lot of flack for just letting him do his job. But obviously, it follows that trope. They have to become like romantic interests, and it's got a lot of those 90s cliches. She's a single mom. The kids have to get into trouble so that they can be rescued, and a lot of stuff that just in that period, like right after Independence Day, where movies followed a certain formula. Dante's Peak is one that does it better than a lot of the movies at the time. Uh, the sort of jokey characters aren't too obnoxious the way that they are in other movies. The thrills are there, and there might be some stuff that's kind of dumb, but they actually seem to have tried to follow the science behind what an actual volcano is. Now, I'm no expert on any of that, so they could have completely bullshitted and I wouldn't know. But it sounds reasonable enough to me. Pierce Brosnan is always fun. He's a good actor. I always thought he should have done more. Bond didn't really lead to this giant career that I think he should have had. He should have been like a Sean Connery, where he went on to do these bigger things, win an Oscar at some point. Um, but he's really good here. Of all the James Bonds, I always found him to be the most charming, and he's very charming in this movie. When the volcano finally erupts, the effects are great because they're not just CGI. There's a lot of miniatures. If you watch like the behind the scenes making of the movie, it's there's a part where a bridge gets swept out that you would be shocked to find out was practical and how they did it with just tiny little models. Uh, Really fascinating stuff. This is not like a movie that you are going to be particularly challenged by. This isn't a movie where this isn't like Interstellar or something like that, where the science is really thick in it and you really have to be paying attention and follow along and everything. This is a fun little adventure movie. Although there's a horrendous scene with the Linda Hamilton's mother-in-law that it's hard to watch, and I'm surprised it didn't get the movie bumped up to an R rating. It's the only part in the movie like that, but it's pretty horrific. That said, this is a fun time at the movies. I'm going to give Dante's Peak 3.5 out of 5 stars. Seek this one out. It's if you're just looking to have a good time, this is the kind of movie you put on, with your friends. You order a pizza and you just watch something fun.
Other worlds. Sort of gave myself the challenge of, okay,